Hello, everybody. This is Elijah.
This is Luke.
And we are the Eagles of Steel.
So today,
we're
we're going to be keeping it on defense, and we're going to be talking about top 10 corners. Now, there's so many corners that are good, and we had a very, very hard time picking. So if your corner's left out and it's very good, I'm sorry.
Believe me, we did research on probably like 30, 40 corners like in the league. And I'm going to say it right now, guys, I don't feel even comfortable with my list. Just because there's some people that I had to leave out. There's some people that I put in just because it made sense. And it's not going to be easy, man. But before we get started, make sure you pause this video right now and check out the other ones if you haven't yet. The linebackers one was a fun one too.
That we enjoyed.
That one was really fun to talk about. DJ Watt, man.
Okay.
Sorry, a little spoiler there. But still, though, go check out the rest of the list there.
Do you want to start us off this time?
Yeah, I'll start us off. My number 12, the honorable mentions, Marlon Humphrey of Baltimore.
Okay.
So he played only 10 games.
Okay.
So he missed 7 games in the season. He had 22 solo tackles. He had 1 interception, 5 pass deflections, and he allowed only 50% of the passes that were thrown at him. So it was 19 receptions out of 38 attempts on him.
50%.
So 50% exactly on the dot, which is interesting. But yeah, I know he's good. I know in Madden or whatever, he's like a 90 overall superstar. He just couldn't make it because the stats aren't there. And I know he only played 10 games, so he easily could have gotten there, but okay.
My number 12, I'm being a little biased here. I'm picking Darius Slay for my number 12.
He was close for me. He was close.
I was debating to put him in or not because he was either going to miss it by 1 or be on my lowest of my honorable mentions.
Yeah.
He only played 12 games, so he missed 5.
He missed 5 games, yeah.
But he had 2 picks, one of them being a pick 6.
That is good.
He had 48 solos out of 57 total tackles, so not bad for that ratio. 15 pass deflections. That's what made him on my honorable mention list, because this pass deflections, he could have way more.
I want to tell you the reason why I didn't have him. In 12 games, it was 48 to 76.
He had a lot of targets.
In 12 games. That would have been on pace to have the number 1 targeted corner in the league.
Which is ridiculous.
So that's the only reason I did not include him, is because of that. And that hurt because I know he's good. Anyway, what's your number 11?
L'Jarius Sneed. As an honorable mention.
Okay.
I have 10 other really good corners here, okay?
All right.
So, L'Jarius Sneed, he is now in Tennessee for KC last year. Mm-hmm. He played 16 games. I'm assuming that he didn't play the 17th one because of backups. He had 2 picks. Mm-hmm. He had 60 solos out of 78 total tackles, so that's decently well. 14 pass deflections. He didn't have a forced fumble, though.
Okay.
He didn't have any sacks either, because some of these corners on my list have sacks.
Yeah, which was really interesting to see that when I was looking through it. But
which is not bad. And he had 52% quarterback accuracy towards him, which is...
Wait, who did?
L'Jarius Sneed.
Oh, okay.
Which was actually very good, which was 42 receptions out of 81 targets.
Oh, you rounded up. Never mind.
You stupid.
Yeah, you're 51, 52%, whatever you want to do it.
Okay. All right. My number 11 is Rasul Douglas from the Buffalo Bills. So he played 16 games. He had 47 solo tackles, 1 sack, 5 interceptions, 14 pass deflections, and he had a 43 for 72 range of receptions to targets.
He had a bunch of targets, but he didn't.
But it was in 16 games, so it's about accurate. It's about average, and it's 54.7%, which is good. He easily could have been in my top 10, but there's just other people that I almost had to be a little biased and put in there. Starting off my top 10, I didn't like this, but he had a lot of good, interesting stats, so I had to include him. Trent McDuffie of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
Games played, he did 16 games. He had 60 solo tackles. 5 forced fumbles for a corner is absurd. 3 sacks for a corner is absurd. However, he didn't have any picks. This is where he kind of drops it a little bit. The things that makes him only number 10, not like higher, is he had no interceptions, only 7 pass deflections, and his ratio for receptions and targets
Was
is
probably one of the worst.
46 out of 65, which was a 70.8% win rate for
Round up
quarterbacks.
to 71%.
For quarterbacks, that's a 70% like average rate, which is
Ridiculous.
really good for quarterbacks because he could not stop anybody.
Anyways, I'm assuming you wondering what my number 10 is.
Yes, I am.
Denzel Ward from the Browns. A number 10. Denzel Ward,
Yeah.
he's not bad. He only played
I can see
13.
that.
He only played 13 games.
Yeah, I know that.
He had 2 picks. He had 30 solos out of 34 tackles. So they didn't go for him much because they knew he was good.
Oh, yeah.
But the problem is he didn't have many pass deflections. He only had 5 pass deflections. But
Wait, you looking at the right stuff?
yes, I am looking at Denzel Ward. Actually, no, I'm sorry.
You stupid.
Here's his stats. Sorry, he had 11 pass deflections.
Thank
and,
you.
And he had a forced fumble.
I was saying, I have his numbers on this paper here, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
Anyways.
He's even better.
His ratio, he had 34 receptions allowed, 66 targets, which was 51%.
Which is good.
Which is very good, and that's why he's on my top 10 list.
There you go. Now, what's your number 9? Like,
Devin Witherspoon. Mm-hmm. That rookie last year, he popped off.
Seattle's lucky. They got him.
He played He played only 14 games actually.
Yeah,
He
that's what
had
makes it good, too.
3 sacks, same as McDuffie.
Yeah.
He had 1 pick, which was a pick 6. It was like I think it was a
He was against the Giants.
97-yard pick 6.
Against the Giants, which was funny.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
He had 56 solos, 79 total tackles. He had 16 pass deflections and a forced fumble, which is amazing for a rookie.
It was really
Well
good.
done, Witherspoon.
Yeah. My number 9 is actually your number 10, Denzel Ward of Cleveland. He had played, like I said, we already discussed it, but he played 13 games. Solo tackles were kind of mid. It was only 30. But he had 1 forced fumble, 2 interceptions, 11 pass deflections, and he had a 51.5% receiving target rate, which is very good. And it was one of the best on my list. So that's what's really interesting about this. That he's very good. He's fast, too. He's a very fast corner. And the Browns, their corners are like really good. So it's going to be, because they also have Greg Newsome on the other side. I didn't include him, but he could have easily been like
Honorable mention.
a person to look at. My number 8 is L'Jarius Sneed of Tennessee.
Okay.
Or Kansas City from the past. He played 16 games. He had 60 solos, 2 interceptions, 14 pass deflections, and his receiving target ratio, 42 out of 81, which was a 51.8%.
Which is very good.
Which is very good. It wasn't as good as Denzel Ward's like percentage point, but he also had more like solo. He had double the solo tackles. He had more pass deflections, and he actually played more of the games. So that's why I had him there.
I guess you're wondering what my number 8 is. This is
Yes, I am.
This is gonna shock you. Jalen Ramsey at number 8. Here's why. He only played 10 games, but in those 10 games, he had 3 picks. He had 18 solos out of 22 total tackles. He only had 5 pass deflections, though. That's why. He didn't have any forced fumbles either. He was low in the pass deflections, but he only played 10 games.
Yeah, I know.
And 56% quarterback. So his ratio was 20 receptions out of 36 targets, which was 56%. So it was a little lower, but it could have been much better if he played more.
You're going to be really upset that I'm going to say this right now. Jalen Ramsey's not even in my top 10. Not even an honorable mention.
I decided to put him in there just for that case.
I'm just saying it's a little upsetting, probably some people, but I couldn't fit him in.
My number 7, I'm assuming
Yes.
you're wondering, Sauce Gardner, I put him in there.
I agree. Unfortunately, I agree that he is a little lower than I thought. He was.
Yes, because his stats disappointed me.
Yeah,
because I could have had him higher, but obviously he was the best coverage guy in the league.
Oh yeah, you couldn't get anything on him, and that was that is good. Because I have to give him that.
29 receptions allowed for 51 targets. That's the lowest targets for a corner.
No, it's not.
Is it or is it?
There's one other guy, but we can get to him later.
Yeah, 56%, which was not bad, but low. One of the lowest targets, but one of the lowest reception targets for a playing 16 games. So
yeah,
you gotta keep that in mind. But the reason why he was lower, he had 41 solos out of 57 total tackles. He had 12 pass deflections and a forced fumble. But he didn't have any picks.
Yeah, and that's what's weird. A guy like Sauce Gardner not having any picks.
Which is very crazy to me.
Yeah. Now, this one might shock the heck out of you because I didn't even hear about this guy until I did research on him. Number 7, Paulson Adebo.
Who? Who's that?
New Orleans Saints #1 corner. He played 15 games. He had 60 solo tackles, 2 forced fumbles, 4 interceptions, 18 pass deflections.
Wow.
And receiving and target ratio was 50 out of 88, which was a 56.8%.
I did not know.
I didn't hear about this guy literally until I did the research. And I was like, this guy is just hiding under the radar chilling while we're all talking about Sauce Gardner. We're all talking about Deron Bland. This guy is just popping off and nobody's even noticing it. And that's what sucks because I had to give him credit once I found that out. I was like, oh my gosh, he is good. I had to say it. Number 6, Devin Witherspoon, Seattle.
Dang right.
Games played, 14. Solo tackles, he had 56, 3 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 1 interception, 1 touchdown with that interception with that Giants game. 16 passes defended. And he had a 39 out of 68 receiving to target ratio, which was a 57.3%.
Not bad for a rookie.
Yeah. Now, I could have put Paulson Adebo technically over him on certain occasions, but the only reason I put Devin Witherspoon over that is the fact that he played 1 less game and he was a rookie doing this. I had to give Witherspoon the credit there.
Now, this one, for my number 6, this one might be interesting. You might not have him on your list. Darius Williams from the Rams, the #1 corner for the Rams. He didn't have any sacks, but he played all 17 games.
All right.
He had 4 picks. One of them was a pick 6.
Nice.
44 solos at 53 total tackles, so his ratio was better. 19 pass deflections. And he also had 2 forced fumbles.
Nice.
That's why he's on here.
Oh, yeah, he deserved to be on there. Wow.
His ratio was a little higher. It was 51 out of 86. So 51 catches allowed out of 86 total targets, which was 59%, which was a little lower, but his stats on the other side say otherwise.
Oh, yeah, of course. So what's your starts off your top 5 anyway?
Rasul Douglas.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm a lot higher than I did.
Well, his stats say otherwise.
All right.
He did have a sack.
I know that.
16 games played, 5 picks. One of them was a pick 6. You forgot to mention that.
Oh, he had a pick 6?
Yeah, he had a pick 6.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
You're so dumb.
Well, there you go.
47 solos out of 61 total tackles. He had 14 pass deflections. He didn't have any forced fumbles, though, but let me see his percentage. For Douglas, he had 43 receptions allowed out of 72 targets, so 60%, which was not bad for was it 8 and 9 years in the league now?
Yeah. So yeah, Rasul Douglas, I know he's good. I didn't know about the touchdown. I would have had him higher if I knew about that. My number 5, to start mine off, is who you thought I wouldn't include, Darius Williams. I did the research and found him, and I saw the pass deflections, and I was like, all right, I'm going to have to look at him. And he played all 17 games. He had 44 solos. He had 2 forced fumbles, 4 interceptions, 1 touchdown, the pass deflections we did, and then he had 51 of 86, which was a 59.3%. And sure, Paulson Adebo technically had very similar stats, and he could have even been higher than him, but
he didn't have the pick 6.
He didn't have the pick 6. That's the difference. Is the fact that he had the touchdown. That's the only reason why he's higher. Number 4, Sauce Gardner. I only put him up here because if I didn't, I was probably going to have problems. So,
Yeah, that's fair.
So he had to be. Like, I know he's a shutdown corner. That's why he was up here. Even though he only had 41 solos, 1 forced fumble, no picks, and only 12 pass deflections.
That's very.
But he only was targeted 51 times the entire season. He only allowed 29 total catches. He was hard to throw on. It's why he only got targeted 51 times in the entire season.
That's why they call him the king of corners.
Yeah. No, unfortunately, the stats, I wish they said better, but just you
can't put him higher than that.
Yeah.
I'm going to shock you with my number 4, McDuffie, and my number 4.
Whoa.
You what?
I'm gonna shock you.
Yeah, you're shocking me. Why is he that high?
For certain reasons.
I know he had to force fumbles, but that's about it.
16 games played, 3 sacks. He didn't have any picks though.
I know.
60 solos out of 80 total tackles, 5 forced fumbles. He only had the 7 pass deflections. But he had one of the worst quarterback accuracies. But he's probably gonna be their starting corner next year.
He's gonna have to do something.
He's got to pick it up, but he does deserve to be up here.
Yeah, like I agree he deserves top 10, but he does not deserve top 5.
Well, my number 3 being Jalen Johnson from the Bears.
Ooh, okay.
Because he has some decent stats I want to talk about.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
He didn't have any sacks, but he only played 14 games. He had 4 picks, one of them being a pick 6.
Yeah.
31 solos out of 36 total tackles, so that one didn't really get to me that well. 10 pass deflections and a forced fumble.
All right.
So he had decent stats, and on the back here for his percentage accuracy was good. 25 receptions out of 50 targets, 50% complete quarterback accuracy.
Nice,
which is amazing.
That is good.
That's why he's top 3.
Yeah. Number 3 for me, Deron Bland of Dallas. He played 17 games, had 53 solo tackles, no forced fumbles, 9. You heard me right. 9 interceptions.
Oh my goodness!
Obviously, the most in the NFL.
5 touchdowns, most from a corner in the league
in NFL history, actually.
Yeah. And he had 15 pass deflections. And his receiving and target ratio. This is the only reason it kind of was a little lower for me. It was 48 out of 89 attempts.
He got targeted
a lot. Which was a 53.9%. It's good. He was solid. But the top 2 guys that I have, I think, are better in that regard because of certain other categories. My number 2, Travarius Ward.
The nice corner for the Niners.
He had played 17 games, 56 solo tackles. He beat him out in that. Had an enforced fumble. He had 5 picks. And one of those was a touchdown. And here's the thing that won me over from between Deron Bland and Travarius Ward. 23 pass deflections.
Oh my God!
23. And he got targeted 94 times, and he somehow still only did a 51 of them allowed, which was a 54.2%. The fact he was targeted, I think it was tied for 9th most in the league, and he still only gave up just a little over 50% of them.
That's amazing.
That is ridiculous. Yeah. What's your number 2?
Deron Bland. I had your number 3.
Okay, so we switched.
Well, not necessarily.
Okay, now sir. Okay.
Yeah, as you were saying, Deron Bland. He didn't have any sacks. As I was saying, 17 total. He played all 17 games.
Yes.
9 picks, 5 pick sixes, which is an NFL record in one season. 53 solos, 15 pass deflections. He didn't have any forced fumbles. And then on the back here, 54% quarterback accuracy, which was 48 out of 89, which is not bad, but that was a lot of targets.
Yeah.
And my number 1 is your number 2, Javarius Ward.
Okay.
You're like, you better be on there.
Yeah, so I hope so.
Yeah, he's my number 1. 0, obviously, he didn't have any sacks. He played all 17 games like Deron Bland.
Yep.
5 picks, which is amazing. 56 solos out of 72 total tackles. Obviously, that 23 pass deflections is what got me.
Oh, yeah.
That got me. He also had a forced fumble, too. Obviously, you're right, 51 receptions allowed on 94 targets. That's literally the most on this list. And 54% quarterback accuracy, which is obviously amazing for how much he got targeted.
Yeah. My number 1 was your number 3.
Jalen
Johnson. He played 14 games. He had 31 solos, 1 forced fumble, 4 picks, 10 pass deflections, and he had a 50% receiving target rate.
That's probably why he was number 1.
Which was tied for the best on my list, the first one that had that was Marlon Humphrey from Baltimore, but he only played 10 games, and it was really hard to figure out.
He could have a lot more.
Yeah. But with Jalen Johnson, he had 3 games he missed where he could have done more interceptions or more forced fumbles and more pass deflections. He could have done more of that. And he was just good. Watching the Bears with Jalen Johnson was phenomenal. Even though, the rest of them is he's
and now they just got some stuff on defense.
So they're crazy. So yeah, there you guys have it. That's our list for that. Now what we need to talk about is what's the best
the combinations.
And do you want to start with NFC or AFC?
AFC, because we started with the NFC last time.
Okay, so AFC. Who has the best cornerbacks in the AFC? Duo. Let's do either be duo or trio because you get mixture.
Let's do duo because I don't want to think of trios right now.
Yeah, it'd be hard to think of that. Oh man, so
if I can think of any.
So for the Jets, you have Sauce Gardner and Michael Carter II, who I almost included on this list,
and DJ Reed as well. If you want.
Is he? I thought he was a safety. Maybe he's a corner. I don't know.
No, I looked it up. It's a corner.
Okay.
I think he's the nickelback. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Cleveland with Denzel Ward and Greg Newsome II. Whew, those are good. You also got
KC with their.
Man, to be honest, that's about it for me. It's come down for me. It comes down to Cleveland and New York for the best cornerbacks duos in the league. I'll be honest, I don't know if anybody else really has that high. I know, because I feel the NFC is just stacked and with cornerbacks.
And that's gonna be hard to choose when we get.
But the AFC
doesn't.
Give me the Jets. The Jets have the best cornerback duo, no questions asked, in my opinion.
Yeah, they had 2 or 3 shutdown corners. Give me the Jets as well.
Yeah. Now let's go over to the NFC.
This is gonna be very.
Okay. As much as I have Jalen Johnson at number 1, their number 2 is not near as good, so I can't have them as the best duo. And again, Travarius Ward cannot have that honor. But guess, unfortunately, who can be definitely a contender? Deron Bland and Trayvon Diggs. Dallas.
You can include Philly out of that conversation.
Philly's not in the conversation. At least not yet. We don't know how good your rookies are.
If they play well.
If they play well, then sure.
Next year, we have a different conversation, but...
Seattle, maybe? Devin Witherspoon? I don't know. Who's the other guy?
I don't know who the other corner is.
Gosh. All right. Man.
There's not much.
All right. I hate doing this. I have to take the Dallas Cowboys with the best cornerback duo in the league.
I mean, you're not wrong. Even though Trayvon Diggs only played twice last year, he only played 2 games.
He only played 2 games because he got hurt. But imagine if he did play. How much better Dallas would have played.
I hate to do this to myself. For being a Philly fan, I hate it, but I have to go with Dallas.
As for a Steelers fan, I hate doing this too. But Dallas does have the best cornerback duo.
It is.
They do. At least, not to say in the league, but in the NFC.
Not in the league. That'd be.
So imagine Dallas and Jets facing each other with those with the both 2 best corner duos.
It'd be a defensive slugfest.
Very, very big defense. Now, there you guys have it. Obviously, there's gonna be lots of disagreements, most likely. People are probably wondering why in the world is a guy like Marlon Humphrey so low, or why is a guy like Sauce Gardner not number 1? There's gonna be a lot of
and
those.
why Jalen Ramsey's in there,
or not at all type thing. So it's just if you guys wanted to comment below and tell us your list, go on ahead. And also hit that subscribe button, like he said. And as always, I'm Elijah.
And I'm Luke.
And we are the Eagles of Steel. Bye!